Hey guys, this is Oxide again, and I'm back with another Warhammer 2 multiplayer battle. So this is my next faction that I'm going to try, that I'm quite comfortable with. So I'm going to be the Vampire Counts facing off against the Dwarfs in this matchup. So for my army composition, I've basically gone with a front line of mostly spearmen. Bear with me, with Graveguard and the Sternsman, and then my AP come in heavily from the Crypt Horrors. So I've got, I think 4 groups of Spearmen, 2 Graveguard, 1 Sternsman, and 3 Crypt Horrors. And then I've got 2 Vargulfs, so I've got 1 over here on this flank, 1 over here on this flank making his way up, 2 Direwolves which are going to wrap up and around, 2 Fellbats, and I do have the mighty Heinrich Kemmler who's going to be summoning Krell and all sorts of other stuff. For my opponent, he has bought, he's got the Peakgate Guard, the Regiment of Renown, he's got Longbeards, great weapons, the Grumbling Guard, which obviously Longbeards are great weapon, Iron Breakers, Longbeards are great weapons, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, and the Ekron's Miners. He's also got Giant Slayers, Normal Slayers, and 2 groups of Dwarf Warriors. So he's got like a real infantry corps, elite infantry corps as well. So he's got Ungrim Iron Fist up in here, and an organ gun. So this could be the worst map to bring an organ gun. This is gonna basically be able to do nothing. So anyway, let's fire off this game and see what happens. So I did make a few major mistakes in this game. I'll just be upfront about that. So Heinrich Kemmler, I think I screwed up and I put him in a group with one of the Vargulfs, I think. So when I move them forward, see, he gets a command to follow where this Vargulf was going. I don't know what happened there, but this is a major screw up on my part. So basically I'm just going to be advancing in. Obviously I don't have any ranged, and I just need to close the gap and figure out what some of these units are, because he's got some hidden units. But to start with, I'm going to be bringing my Vargulfs around and just taking a look and having a little poke in there. So this Vargulf's coming around, and obviously he's going to come across this Peakgate Guard when he gets a bit closer. And I'm just wrapping around. I'm going to leave my Direwolves in the forest behind, just lurking. Obviously Direwolves, I was expecting some ranged units to be able to come in and shut those down, as well as the Fellbats, so that it gives my other units a chance to not get annihilated before they get there. So I saw these bunch of units over here. I actually didn't realise there were Slayers in here until afterwards actually, but what I'm going to do is come in and just try and get a bit of free damage, because there's not, from what I can see, there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing that. So I'm just going to charge in, get a little bit of Vargulf action in there, get a little slow-mo, and he's going to smack some of these Peakgate Guard, bash them around. So he's going to smack them about, do a bit of HP damage. He hasn't actually taken out any models, but that's fine, he can just run rampant in there. And I've got my other Vargulf coming around the side, he's going to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously he has got, these are a lot of elite dwarf troops, so I don't really want, I'm happy to take a bit of damage, because obviously Vargulfs are regenerating, so I'm just going to get back out of there and then sort of recharge in a couple of times whilst my front line makes its way up. So you can see Kemmler's just taking a trip off into the woods on his own over there, so that's completely my fault. I screwed this up. The other Vargulf's coming in now, realise there's some Giant Slayers, so I'm just going to go around them. And obviously he's got a couple of blast and charge units which are going to wreck these Spearmen. Obviously Spearmen aren't going to do anything anyway. Oh my god, that unit got absolutely destroyed. But their only purpose was just to get in there and hold these units in place whilst my Crypt Horrors come in and just give them a pound in, and my Vargulfs come round and smack things about. So in they go. Kemmler is still over here chilling in the forest. I think I probably realised, oh no I haven't yet, but I bring him over afterwards. And this Vargulf I've left in here for far too long, so you can see it's taking a beating. His leadership's tanking, he's critical binding, so that is not good for me. And I didn't actually realise at this point that these Slayers were there, so they've come along and they're absolutely going to melt these Crypt Horrors. That's unfortunate for me. I did try and get my Hounds up and around to get onto this organ gun. Sort of failed a little bit, but I do manage to get onto it here. And I'm getting a bit of a wrap around here. I've got my Crypt Horrors, but what I really should have been doing at this point, I've sort of messed this up quite a bit is these Cryptors, I should have been bringing them up and cycle charging them back through these units. So see the Sternsmen in here with those Cryptors just laying a whooping on these Dragonfire Pass warriors. Kemmler's finally joined the fight, but he is in the wrong neighbourhood. Obviously he's quite a squishy lord, he does have that Cloak of Mist and Shadows to give him 75% physical resistance, but to be honest, these are, you know, he's surrounded by the Grumbling Guard and Peak Gate Guard. These Peak Gate Guard are just going to tank him into oblivion. Somehow these Cryptors are still here, even though they're getting tanked on by these Slayers, but this is a real nasty pocket for me. And I was struggling with my micro all over the place, even though everything's pretty settled in place. So you can see I eventually moved these Cryptors around, but I think really what I should have done is doubled up my Vargolf. One, Kemmler should be over with these Stearns Guard as his guard bodyguards, and then I should have left something here just to muck up these elite units, brought both Vargolfs and all Cryptors all round to this one flank and just overwhelmed it, killed Ungrim, and then sort of worked my way down systematically, destroying each one of these. But as it is, I've made a huge mistake, left Kemmler in there, and he is going to summon Krell in a minute. I made another huge mistake in a minute. I should have been firing off Invocation to Hex, and I've got a couple of zombie summons coming in. Obviously there's no range units for them to muck them up, but I'm just going to use them for rear charges and just to you know, interrupt some of these units. But I overcast an Invocation in the Heck just on this Vargolf by accident in a sec. I was trying to uncheck it from my cursor, and I thought it did, and then I accidentally cast it over here, so that was a massive screw up. So I basically had no healing. My other Vargolf's just chasing down some of these routing units. It's getting a bit messy over here. These Cryptors are doing some good work. These ones are getting smashed to pieces because there's giant slayers in there again. So I should have had really my chaff spearmen fighting these slayers. That would have been the ideal situation. Got sort of, it's okay going on over here. Obviously it's a bit of a wash with these Graveguard against the armoured units. In hindsight, should have bought the Great Weapon Graveguard. I know they kind of suck, but he had no range to punish me, so I would have been chewing through these other units. You can see Kemmler here is just getting beaten into oblivion now. Krell is there, but there's nothing he's going to be able to do about it. So really, this was just a massive waste. And losing Kemmler now, I try to pull him out, but he's just getting tanked down here and he's crumbling. As soon as he dies, these Vargolfs are going to take a punishing leadership hit. Or everything is, to be honest. And it's going to become a bit of a struggle from here. Ungrim's in here. He is getting chipped down a little bit by some of these units in here. The Vargolf's going to do a bit of cycle charging. Got rid of this pocket in here. Just mucking up with these Cryptors. The balance of power is still even though I've lost Kemmler. What I want to do is bring now, as you would have noticed at this point as well, that I haven't pointed out, all the way back over here my Felbats are just chilling. I completely forgot about those as well. So in a minute what I'm going to do is try to occupy, it's what I should have done at the beginning, occupy these elite units with the Felbats and bring all of my big armour piercing troops over to this right flank and just overwhelm this. Try to kill Ungrim, clear all this up, and then deal with this afterward. But this is a monster of a pocket. He's got Longbeard's great weapons, those Peak Gate Guard, just armour sunder and just destroyer of worlds. He's got some Slayers in there as well. Krell's not long for this world, he's gone, and my Vargolfs are a bit beat up as well. So I'm taking care of these smaller units. Ungrim's running off on his own, so I take this opportunity I was going to isolate him at first, but I thought I'll run around him and then I'll bring my other Vargolf over and I'll just try to kill everything here. And you can see the Sternsmen, they're such a solid unit. They've got 102 kills already. They're not even armour piercing, but they're just, you know, ripping through these Dwarfs. So they're doing a really good job over here. Vargolfs, I'm coming in just trying to get rid of some of these units. Giant Slayers there again. I should not be in with them. So I'm going to do a run around, clear up these units, and then try and take out Ungrim. I think that's my only chance of pulling this battle back into my favour. But you can see the balance of power is in my opponent's favour. He has cleared up everything here, which frees up this elite pocket to come over here. And I believe this is when I realised I've made a mistake. So in a minute, these, you know, this is all my fault. This is just me getting carried away and my micro being terrible and panicking a little bit. So obviously I do have the full mobility. He's got nothing to really punish me, so I can cycle charge these into oblivion, but my units are crumbling. I've got no leadership, and I shouldn't have these in here at all. I should pull them back out, and Ungrim's over here on his own. I should come over here, isolate him and kill him, and then take care of this afterwards. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. We can see that's what I try and do here. These Cryptoras just got wasted, so that was a complete waste of those as well. I'm going to come over and try and beat Ungrim to a pulp. Obviously he is anti-large, so he's going to... Here my Felbats are mucking these guys up now. So that's what I wanted in the first place, just going to hold him in place whilst I try and take out this lot over here. Speed it up again a little bit for you here whilst Ungrim takes a beating from my Vargulfs. Obviously he has low melee defense, so the Vargulfs are going to do a good job against him. But it's not going to be long before these Felbats do crumble and disappear. Excuse me. And now I'm in real trouble because this big pocket is going to come in and just, you know, cause me all sorts of problems. So Ungrim's trying to run to the safety of this unit, and this was very unfortunate. My Vargulf punted him with 300 health into the middle of these units. I tried chasing him down, but that was a mistake on my part. So he has managed to escape, and then really I don't think I have enough. I've only got the Sternsman and these two Vargulfs, so the Sternsman will hold them in place for a little while, but he's going to be a bit savvy to that, and he's not going to let me just cycle charge. Plus this Vargulf is crumbling. He's going to, you know, he's not going to last long. So I'm going to try and get into Ungrim. I do give him a massive smack down there. He's 100 down to 1 HP, so that's him dead. He's going to die now. Ungrim is gone, but as you know, the Dwarfs have stellar leadership, and that's not going to crumble their resolve that easily. It's only the Vampire Council who are going to be crumbling here, so balance of power is massively in my opponent's favour. I get some rear charges in here into these Iron Breakers, but obviously they're a elite unit. These are all near enough elite units. My Sternsmen are not going to hold out. There goes one Vargulf. Balance of power obviously tipping even more. These Sternsmen are going to crumble and die as well. And then if I speed this up, this Vargulf does try to get a couple of charges in here, but he's not going to last very long at all against this. And that's the end of my Vampire count. So it was a good battle. I think I did well, but I just screwed up massively. I let Kemmler die early on by accidentally grouping him with the other Vargulf. I'm not sure really. My strategy was sound, I think, but they did get wiped out a little bit, these Spearmen, by the blasting charges, and I could have brought the great weapon units. The Cryptoras would have done well if I had used them effectively, which I didn't. I just let them sit for too long. Obviously the Felbats is the story of everything. I just didn't do any micro, basically. I didn't use any of Kemmler's magic really, other than Krell on one, Overcast Invocation to Heck on one unit. So this is all my fault. I think I had the perfect army really to take this out. There's not really much he could do about it. I just needed to get rid of the Slayers, and they were the only threat really. But yeah, fair play to my opponent. He just sort of stood firm. The Organ Gun was obviously no good on that map, but yeah, he's you know, his Slayers just went to town. The Peakgate Guard, look at all these kills on here. They just ravaged my units. So anyway, on to the next battle, and I'll try to pick up next time and do a little bit better. So yeah, if you guys are interested in following along with my journey, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers guys.